Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel in the first place. Today we have a Bakugou X listener. It's Falling Colds by Soul of Salt on AO3. The link will be in the description, as well as the first part to the series, although this one could be listened to as a one-shot. So let's go ahead and get into it. Fucking hell. You groaned as you brought a cup of tea to your lips. I fucking hate colds. After having run in the rain the day before, to make sure you weren't late to class, you had ended up catching a cold, even after Bakugou had lent you his coat and jacket and made sure you changed into a dry set of clothes. The memory made you cover your face and let out a small squeal, which turned into pain coughing. You let out a curse under your breath and took another sip of the hot beverage. A hard set of knocks against the door of your room made you swallow quickly, grimacing slightly at the ache it caused your throat. "It's open," you called out with a hoarse voice, and the door opened. Speak of the devil. "Oh, hey Bakugou." He was leaning against the door frame and had an impassive look. If you didn't know him, you'd almost think he was bothered. But you did, and you could see the worry in his eyes, in the way he tapped his foot impatiently, and in the smallest furrow of his eyebrows. "You look like shit." "Wow, thanks. You sure know how to make someone feel special." You grabbed a tissue and blew your red nose. "So, what are you doing here? Came to revel in my suffering?" "Just a bit." His lips twitched slightly, as if wanting to form a smile. "Kirishima told me you were sick and weren't going to their movie night. It's kind of pathetic you can't even attend the crap you organized yourself." "I know." You pouted slightly, making Bakugou's heartbeat slightly faster. "I just didn't want my cold to spread through the dorms. I'm gonna watch the movie we had chosen by myself, and then talk about it tomorrow with them." "I'll watch it with you," he said, pushing himself off your door frame and walking towards you. "Make room." At his words, you quickly started shaking your head, making the slight headache you had been feeling for the last half hour grow. Even if the idea of watching a movie with Bakugou in your room, the two of you alone, was tempting, you didn't want him to catch a cold because of you. No, you'll end up sick." "I ain't gonna end up fucking sick." He softly pushed you in an attempt to get you to make some room for him. "Unlike you, I actually take care of my own damn health. Now move and start the movie." You tried to convince him of how bad an idea that was, but in typical Bakugou fashion, he'd completely ignored your every word and had, surprisingly gently, settled on the bed beside you and refused to move. After a deep sigh, you ended up giving in. However, once he sat down next to you, something became completely clear. You absolutely were not going to be able to pay attention to the movie. Most of the blood in your body seemed to have migrated to either your face or your right side, the closest to Bakugou, and the rest was still busy deciding, dancing around your stomach and making you sick. Bakugou's body was practically pressed against you, your bed barely big enough to fit the two of you. He was so close you could feel the heat slowly coming in waves from his body, so warm you just wanted to curl around him. But maybe that was just the fever talking. "So what are we watching? Better not be shit." His voice brought you back to reality. It took you a few seconds to process what he had just asked you. Spirited Away. The lack of response from the blonde let you know your movie choice wasn't shit, as he had so kindly put it before. With a satisfied smile, you opened your laptop and leaned back after the soundtrack started to play, a small yellow car appearing on the screen. You felt Bakugou stretch his arms awkwardly, bumping into your shoulder, but after a quick glance to your right, he settled back into his iconic cross-arm slump. Halfway through the movie, Bakugou felt a weight on his shoulder. He looked to his left and found your sleeping figure leaning against him. He stared at you as a soft smile formed on his face, which he for once didn't try to suppress. He felt you move with each breath you took, your mouth slightly open. You looked too damn cute. Bakugou shifted slowly, careful not to wake you up, and circled one of his arms around you, like he had wanted to do at the beginning of the movie. You moved, letting out a soft grunt, and he tensed up, only to relax when he felt your left arm on top of his chest as you snuggled into him. He used his free hand to tenderly brush some of your hair off your face. Your nose scrunched as he sniffed once, clearly trying to breathe through your nose, but not being able to, before you pressed yourself against him even more. Bakugou put his head on top of yours and closed his eyes. He'd enjoy this for a minute and then he'd leave. Just 1 minute of your warmth against him. Just 1 minute of his arms around you. Just 1 minute of... Just 1 minute. Just... It hadn't been 1 minute, but at least an hour when Mina softly knocked on your door. She had been planning to give you some leftover pizza and snacks, as well as to see how you were doing, but was greatly surprised at the sight before her. You were on your bed, fast asleep, and so was Bakugou. His arms were wrapped around you in an almost protective manner, and she could barely see the top of your head from underneath your comforter, but she could guess your face was pressed up against the boy's chest. Mina contained a squeal and quickly took her phone out. She somehow managed to snap a picture of the two of you and send it to you without dropping any of the food she was holding. She tiptoed into your room and left the items on your desk, along with a note telling you to check your phone when you woke up. With one last look at the two of you and a happy grin, she left your room. As soon as the door closed, Bakugou opened one eye, making sure Mina had left the room, before snuggling closer to your sleeping form. Little did he know, you'd done the same exact thing. Alright, so that's the end of this one. I hope you enjoyed. As I said before, link in the description for the first part. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whatever, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye!